welcome back to another Saturday Drop-In podcast. I'm back.
For 1 week only.
For 1 week only. It's, what is it called? Limited running, limited time?
Part-time.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm becoming famous. I'm not becoming famous. But...
I'm becoming famous, you say?
No, not at all.
What's coming up on this week's show?
We have a special guest. It is John Maxwell from the Puffin Pool. The Puffin Pool.
The Puffin Pool.
Really interesting. So I say this in the chat. I moved to Dingwall about a year and a half ago. And the first event that I noticed was in January of 2024. And it was a fun run for the Puffin Pool. The Puffin Pool. The Puffin Pool.
Don't ask me why that works. It just does.
Yeah, it just works. It's quite funny. And just kind of wanted to know a little bit more about it. Hydrotherapy pools aren't really a thing that people might not think that they can use, but are accessible for people who want to use it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not like a leisure thing. It is to sort of help with.
Yeah. It's for getting you better. But
exactly.
You will find all that out when John tells us all about it.
Yeah. There's Beat Detective.
Yep.
Classic Beat Detective. We did have to change the.
We had to change it.
Song.
We'll discuss that after the show. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have Guess the Year, and we have This or That,
which is all about fruits and instruments. So as well, we're checking out. Stay tuned. Thank you again for downloading. If you ever want to get in touch with us, the email address that's best when you're a podcast person, because you want to be cool, is socials@hhr.scot.
Or just catch us on socials. It's
absolutely.
Highland Hospital Radio on Facebook and Instagram, Highland H Radio on Blue Sky, @HHR on TikTok.
Oh, I can't believe you've got
we have a top
HHR
tick
on
in
TikTok.
TikToks.
That's amazing.
I know, it's great. Your Saturday drop-in. I'm back. I heard. Do you know what? 2 weeks I've been here or been away, and what have you done to the main entrance?
What do you mean? What have you done? Oh,
all the fencing and stuff like that. I didn't leave it like that, did I?
So you're Sharon?
Oh,
who are
Sharon.
Who are you? Shannon.
Yeah.
Shannon. That's
Hi,
right.
I'm
Hi,
here.
Shannon. It's been nice to have you back.
Yeah, it's been good. I've been really excited to actually come back this week.
Good.
I've been really excited. I'm just like, I'm back. It's
Welcome
great.
back.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you here. No, I mean that most sincerely at all. The thing is, you've not really been away because you've been busy doing, social media stuff and videos and stuff.
I do my best, yeah. That's kind of what I do in the background. I message you and be like, look at the fancy graphics I've made recently. And you're just like, oh, this is quite nice, yeah.
Yeah, and critiquing other people's efforts, that's all I'm saying. I tried my best with my first video.
You did really well.
I did really well. But then you got hold of it and made it even a million times better.
I literally just added something at the end of it. I didn't even touch the rest of it.
You paused just nicely on my eyebrow raise looking at the camera.
Oh yeah, I did, didn't I?
What are we talking about? If you don't know, you need to search for us on TikTok.
At HHR.
Are we at HHR?
I got the abbreviation.
No
I was like, yes.
How'd you manage that?
Magic. Pure magic. I specifically contacted TikTok and was like, look here.
We're having that.
We're having it.
Should we, for the benefit of those who are listening live on Saturday, say hello and welcome along to the Saturday Drop-In?
Yes.
I think we missed that bit out at the beginning.
I think I said there was Saturday Drop-In.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, either way.
What we got up? We have Guess the Year coming up.
Guess the Year coming up, yes.
Fun features throughout the next couple of hours. It's Guess the Year, Beat Detective, and This or That. This week's This or That is fruit or instrument.
And I'm intrigued by this because it's my turn to be challenged on This or That. As someone who did music at high school and got a higher in music and still likes playing music.
Yeah.
I should do well, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
But then I'm not someone who likes fruit very much, so maybe that'll be my downfall. I'll get all the instruments and none of the fruits.
I'm sure you will be fine. And we have a guest as well this week.
We do have a guest. I'm looking forward to this, yeah.
We have John Maxwell, who is a trustee from the Puffin Pools in Dingwall. So coming up my way.
Yeah, it's over your way, yeah.
Yeah. It's up our way, so
I'm very intrigued by it. I've been reading up on it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to speaking to John, and he's going to tell us all about what the Puffin Pool is. It's hydrotherapy, don't you know?
Hydrotherapy. Yeah. They have a wee little shop down the road next to Lidl as well.
Ooh.
Which is quite nice to have a nice little rummage through.
Oh, I need to have a look at that.
Yeah.
The This or That, the fruit or musical instruments is good. The Beat Detective. So the way that is, the last song in the show in the second hour is picked by the computer. Oh, in fact, all the songs to start with are picked by the computer. We changed some around, obviously.
Yeah. But we try and keep the last one.
Yes, it's picked by the computer, and we need to come up with a cryptic clue. However, this week it was a challenge.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, something that's going to come up later on, it might be in the podcast extras. You might have to download and subscribe. You might have to find your podcast at all your usual podcast, at all your favourite podcast locations. Mm-hmm. So we've got Beat Detective. I think we should have a game of Beat Attemptive, where we're going to tell people what the song was originally, and people can try and come up with a cryptic clue.
That's a really cool idea.
Because we couldn't.
We struggled.
It was, sometimes they are really tenuous.
Yeah.
The Beat Detective ones.
Uh-huh.
This one, I was defeated by it.
It was hard.
It was a tough one. So it was a song that was already in the system. So we've simply moved the system around slightly.
We've given it a shuffle.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that'll be coming up in the second hour. If you want to get in touch, if you're listening live, you can email us studio@hhr.scot. And don't worry if you're listening on the podcast, because if you send an email to that address, it still comes to us anyway. We'll get it.
We'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find it. Yeah. Studio@hhr.scot works. Check us out on our website as well at hhr.scot. We've even got the show page. The Saturday Drop-In has a show page, Shannon Marvel.
We do, yes. I did. You sent it to me for review.
Yes. Oh, it's
a
out
while
there.
ago.
Listen,
it's out.
Hey, it's out there.
Oh, nice.
If anybody wants to see it, it's there. It is just a wee test. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Because nobody else has got a show page yet, but we'll get there. But the Saturday Drop-In's there, and you can get a sort of a sense of what Shannon and I are in the world of hospital radio broadcasting, which is mixed, to say the least.
It's always interesting when we're shoved together for a show.
Yeah.
So we have got Kiane on... Kiane? Sorry. Kiane.
We've got
Keen.
Did you know that the month of March is National, Enjoy Your Beds Month?
Oh, that sounds nice.
A whole month of being in bed.
Yeah.
I could do that.
I could do that too.
I would be all right with this.
That should be a fundraiser for us.
Broadcast? No.
You know how like Peter Kay did the sit down instead of stand up and do things?
Okay.
That was a while ago. That was like...
I don't think we could get a bed in here though. That's the only thing. Do we know anywhere nearby where there might be some beds?
No. Anyway, so Keen is on. Oh, is that why did you key it specifically for that? No.
Keen
okay, no, that makes complete shape.
and bed shaped.
Yeah. Keen and bed shaped. Yeah.
See?
Sorry, we were going over the whole Kiani thing. It's fine.
Who's Kiani?
Keen.
Okay.
So the email address is studio@hhr.scot. If you're in the hospital just now in Regmore, we're Zone 5. Come say hello.
The door is open.
Yep. And that was Keen. Just double checking. Keen. Kiane.
Or Kiane.
What is that? Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that
kind of goes.
Listen, it's cool. If you want to call them Kiane, you call them Kiane. But the rest of the world and the band themselves seem to refer to themselves as Keen.
Well, if I ever meet Keen.
Big F.
Oh, I was going to say something, but I was like, nah, because it's hurting on Bill. When he interviewed New Ocean City at Belladrum, and he accidentally called them Ocean City, and I was like, ah!
Let's hurt on Producer Bill.
No, Producer Bill's great. I think he was just nervous.
Yeah, the problem with Producer Bill is he's young.
He's a youngster.
Disgustingly young.
Yeah.
So when he meets bands or people of a vintage that he's not met, it's quite interesting actually, because we all assume, I mean, also I'm older than you by quite a margin, but we'd imagine that everybody knows all the bands from, say, 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. Bill wasn't born 20 years ago, so how's he going to know all the bands if he does come across to meet them?
My heart hurts so much.
Exactly. The Sunday Night Crew. Actually, I've got a bad feeling that if you added, I think I'm right, if you added together the ages of the two people who do Sunday nights, that's still not as old as me.
Oh, Tom. I mean, whilst you're sort of dealing with that, we'll deal with it off air. We'll be coming back with Guess the Year. So the idea is we give you loads of things that happened at that year. You guess the year, studio@hhr.scot for your answers. And we will be back with Guess the Year and some more songs. So this is now Guess the Year. So we've chosen a year.
That
doesn't quite
smooth.
work as the intro
that
to Beat
smooth.
Detective.
Yeah, so
we know
it's
what we're
Guess
on
the Year.
about.
Quite simply, we've picked up a year and we have got, what have we got? A number of clues, both musical and in terms of news, sport, TV and trivia. So the first song that we've got for you today is the best-selling single of the year. It will spend 6 weeks at number 1 and 27 weeks in the charts. It's also your number 1 from this week in chart history.
What happened to that show?
The guy gave up. He had enough.
I see. Fair enough. Should we play some?
Let's play some Elvis.
It's happening to me now.
It's because you're using the wrong fader, Shannon.
It's been a long morning. I'm sorry. And that's Elvis Presley with Wooden Heart on your Saturday drop in. That is one of our songs for Guess the Year. But what happened else? What happened else in this year?
What happened else indeed? Well, in television, in the UK, it was the first time you would have seen Points of View. You know, when you write into the BBC and complain, imagine my disgust when. You would have also had Songs of Praise on a Sunday, and Jerry Anderson's Super Marionation show, Supercar, all debuted in this year. In the US, Western-based TV series were very popular in this year. Your top three were Gunsmoke, Bonanza, and Wagon Train.
Very nice. And people who were born this year, very important people. Eddie Murphy, who I would just automatically go Donkey, Shrek.
Donkey from Shrek, yes.
Who else was he?
Whereas
Dr. Dolittle.
Whereas I would go Beverly Hills Cop. Again,
Would you?
The great age divide shows itself again.
George Clooney.
Coffee salesman, George Clooney.
Yeah.
And other stuff.
I was like, no, he wasn't. He was in ER, but...
Oh, yeah, see, now I would have totally
That
forgotten
was his
I would have gone
debut,
Ocean's
was
11.
ER.
Yeah, of course.
Michael J. Fox, legend,
Obviously,
as
yep.
always. Meg Ryan, Ricky Gervais,
Yes.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray Cyrus, big friend with Helen McPherson, of course.
Of course,
Our
yeah.
Helen.
Love that story about that.
In sport, now this will give it away. Yeah, this always does. Elgin City clinched the Highland League after finishing the season tied with Keith. The title went to a decider match which finished in a 1-1 draw in a further decider held on the 10th of May of this year, so Elgin City win 3-1. I know you've got it now, Shannon. You know, you've guessed the year now.
Oh, yeah. Of course I do, yeah. And in the Scottish Cup also required a replay as Dunfermline defeated Celtic to lift the trophy. But did you know the first match saw an official attendance of Hampden of 113,618? Number that just came off the top of my head.
I know. It's amazing how you got that. I can't imagine going to a football match and seeing that many people. As a Livingston fan, if I see more than 500 people, I'm feeling quite nervous. Of course, as we all know, Hey There Mary wins the Scottish Greyhound Grand National. I quite enjoyed putting this one in. The Scottish Greyhound Grand National, which in this year, as it always was held at the Carntine Stadium in Glasgow.
And in golf, the Open is held at the Royal Birkdale Golf Club in Southport and is won by Arnold Palmer.
Yes, and at the World Chess Championships, I was hoping you would get this one, Shannon, but the way it's worked out, I'll need to do the pronunciations.
Okay.
Former champion Mikhail Bodnovich faced off against the reigning champion Michael Tal, who had unseated Bogdanovic in the previous year. Bogdanovic was seen as the underdog, but defeated Tal 13-8, of course, to reclaim his title. But what was the year?
Should we play our next song, which is also...
Why do we go for our next song?
Okay.
Is it that one you're going to play?
It is the one I'm going to play.
No, okay. Well, I'll tell you some more information about the movies then, shall we?
Yeah.
Movies released in this year were The Guns of Navarone, starring Gregory Peck and David Niven. The Parent Trap, starring Hayley Mills. Breakfast at Tiffany's, starring Audrey Hepburn. And in this year, we were introduced to the character Cruella de Vil in Disney's animated classic 101 Dalmatians.
But what was the year? I used to be called one of the dogs as a nickname. Rolly. Because I'd always be like, I'm hungry, Mama.
I wasn't sure where that was going.
Yeah. Little known fact about me.
Okay.
Yeah. Named after cartoon characters. Cool. If you can guess the year, it's hhr.scot, or we're in Zone 5 at Rigmore Hospital. So come in and pop us an answer. I mean, if you shouted a year out at us, we can note it down.
We'll write it down,
We'll go from there. So we're going to leave you with Cruella de Vil by Bill Lee. And that's Bill Lee. Oh, ha ha ha. Ha ha ha.
Maniacal laugh.
We've got a couple of questions in. Answers.
Yep.
Ben's messaged in. I don't know if Laura has. Maybe they're devising years.
Yeah, because they obviously communicate with each other, and
Yeah.
because we found this in the past.
Ben's
Nothing
gone,
yet.
Ben's gone 94.
1994
It's like, well, Cruella de Vil.
is a really interesting guess.
I didn't know that George Clooney was born in 94.
No, I didn't know George Clooney was born in
Only a
1994.
couple of years older than me.
Yeah, well, I mean, ER started a couple of years before then, so somehow he
Yeah.
did it before he was even born. That's how good an actor he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy was a child when he was playing Donkey from Shrek.
Yes, and indeed wasn't born when Beverly Hills Cop
Mhm.
came out. Are we picking on Ben a wee bit too
Yeah,
much
we
here?
are,
Right,
but
better
it's
stop
fine.
then.
Sorry.
We have had a correct guess in the studio, though,
We
from our
have.
guest, who's just coming up in a few moments' time. But shall we put everyone out of their misery before we play one more song from our mystery year? Shannon, what was the year?
It was 1961.
I got it right.
Well, I told you what it was like this week.
Yeah. And when I was picking the clues, I got the right year. Yeah, it was all good.
Well, congratulations.
Can we have another song from 1961, please?
We certainly can. We have the Marcells with Blue Moon. And hopefully every week at the Saturday Drop-In, we make sure we have a guest in. And they got guest the year right, so well done.
They are more than welcome then.
They are more than welcome. This week we have John from Puffin Pool in Dingwall. So I moved to Dingwall best part of a year and a half ago, I want to say. First event I ever saw was a fun run for Puffin Pool, and definitely wanted to have a look and get involved. So John, thank you so much for coming in.
Hello, thank you for having me.
That's all right.
Delighted to be here, and just for the Puffin Pool to be thought of as you do the show as well.
Yeah, we make sure we find you at like different sort of charities as well. Like we do a lot of mental health, but we think a hydrotherapy pool is something that might not be considered as a charity. So first off, what is the Puffin Hydrotherapy Pool?
Okay, it is looks like a swimming pool. It is a swimming pool essentially. We've got a premises next to the Ross Memorial Hospital in Dingwall, just behind Ross County's football ground, and lovely facility that was built nearly 30 years ago, which it's a pool that offers therapeutic relief for users in warm water. And it's a lovely size. You can stand up in the pool. It's quite shallow at one end, slightly deeper in the other end. I wouldn't be able to recite the figures, but it's not like going into an Olympic-sized swimming pool, for example. The water is 34.5 Celsius as well.
Oh, so it's nice and toasty when you get in. Lovely.
It's amazing to be in.
Brilliant.
And that warmth really helps people with various conditions and it's a great benefit to them. The good thing about hydrotherapy is that you're in warm water. That helps with inflammation and arthritis, and if you're recovering from an injury or an operation, being able to do some light physio in warm water just helps your body so much, and it's a really positive place to be as well. Being in warm water, being in any water, you're buoyant, and that just helps your body as well, and it allows you to focus on what you might be struggling with your body, and it's not just for people with injuries as well. I mean, if you've got neurodivergent needs as well, it's just a great place to have a little bit of freedom in a safe space, and it's a stress-free environment. You get a bit of crack with the pool staff. It's just a positive place to be, and I'm really proud to be part of that, because it gives such a positive. I wouldn't say it's a life changer, but it's a real quality of life improvement for so many people that use it.
Yeah, you say it might not be life changing, but to some people I imagine it is, particularly people who have got chronic pain and long-term conditions. You mentioned arthritis there, so. Is hydrotherapy almost like an enhancement to physiotherapy? Does it go hand in hand? Do you get people recommended to you who are going through physiotherapy, perhaps?
Yes. It's a bit of an urban myth that you need to be referred to the Puffin Pool through the NHS, and that is one way to get in contact with us. And the NHS have got a contract for a few sessions during the week, but that's a small sample of the full timetable that we have, and you can refer yourself there. You don't need to go through the NHS, but that's where most people hear about it. And if your physiotherapist might say, well, you should just have a look at the Puffin Pool, and it's aqua physiotherapy, which is very much associated with usual normal physiotherapy, but being in the water, it's a slightly different skill set that the physios have got to use there too. But anyone can refer themselves to use the Puffin Pool. You just have to go through an assessment process with our physios to make sure that you're doing the right thing, and that we're happy that you're doing the right thing with us too. But once once you've gone through that initial assessment process with us, you're free to use the pool as and when you like, and it's not tied to the NHS. Other than the fact that our premises is leased from sort of an NHS site, should I say?
Yeah. Okay. And how did you get involved with the Puffin Pool? Because you seemed, as you walked in, I was just like, he's fit as a fiddle. I don't know why he's using the pool, but
I've never used the pool.
Okay.
I have to admit, but it's through my work. I'm a solicitor by trade, and the firm that I work with, we were involved with the founding of the Puffin Pool. We did a lot of the legal work behind the lease and such like, and that was before my time, but I just kind of carried on that tradition, and it was I've had my whole career in Dingwall, and I felt as if I wanted to give something back to the community, and I've always known, without actually having to directly use or be part of the Puffin Pool, it's got such a sterling reputation in the local community that I wanted to be part of that too. If that was something I could give back to there, then that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Going back to the pool itself, so you talk about who can be using the pool. Presumably, accessibility is very important here.
It is.
I take it that the pool is accessible for anyone, and there's things to make it easier for people to access the pool. Yeah.
We've got anyone of any kind of ability can use it. We've got specialised hoist sessions, which gives the people a little bit more time to come in and out. We've got tracking hoists in the changing rooms to allow people to use our changing facilities as they need to, and we've got a poolside hoist as well, where the staff will help you get in and out of the water, where you can either come from being on a bed to go from a wheelchair. You can sit on a hoist, and and someone will guide you into the water safely, and anyone can use it once you're in the water. You just need to be able to be buoyant, and we've got all the aids that you would ever need to use that too. It's a great place.
Perfect. Well, we have asked, because I forgot to ask you earlier on this week what song request you'd like. So you have requested Beatles' "Here Comes the Song." Any reason for that? Do you like the song? Do you love the Beatles?
I like the Beatles. I love that song.
Yeah.
I was put on the spot about what song I would like,
Yeah.
and I was
Sorry.
I was just sticking with the 60s theme, and it was the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's have a listen, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes to speak to John a bit more about the Puffin Pool. And that was the Beatles' "Here Comes the Sun," requested by John from the Puffin Pool Dingwall, who is joining us for the Saturday drop-in. So we just said earlier on, John, that you have sort of timetable after sort of your assessment. You can go and get booked in. What type of what is in that timetable? Is there sort of certain accessibility slots? Kind of walk us through what that timetable looks like.
Sure. I'd say the weekly timetable is dominated by what's called a mixed mobility session, and that's where any user of any ability can use it. And there are a maximum of 20 users in those sessions, but if you've got 20, it can be quite busy. I'd say not that when we're at peak capacity, it doesn't happen that often, but somewhere between 10 and 20 is probably a great. You get a lovely atmosphere with all the users. We've also got various groups and charities that have booked in for regular sessions with us, and we have on one of the days in the week we've got a group called, or a session called for Pufflings, which is for, there's no strict age limit, but it's for it's typically aimed at younger people who might want to have the time and the space to use it, and if they've particularly if they've got any learning difficulties or neurodivergent needs, that's the time and the space that they can use the pool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I briefly sort of mentioned on the drop-in before that I used to work for a hotel further across the pond, and we used to have people book in for memberships who had young neurodivergent kids because the pool was warm, it was quiet because it's a spa suite, so it's meant to have that relaxing atmosphere. And I remember sort of talking to one of the parents and saying that the whole like flotation is meant to be like sort of a relaxing for them. So yeah, I think that's a really cool idea to have like a puffling little session that, you know, if people are needing that sort of time, there is an available slot for you as well. So
Yeah,
And,
sorry, on you go.
And in direct contrast to that, we've also got a couple of aqua aerobic sessions in the week as well.
Love that.
Which are extremely popular due to being in a warm water environment as well. Although I guess it can get too hot if you exercise too heavily.
Exercising a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
So say we've got somebody who's listening who's heard about the benefits, maybe they're got a chronic pain condition that you've referenced, or some of the other needs that we could benefit with hydrotherapy. So how does someone access the pool from sort of start to finish? How do they get in touch, for example?
Okay, you can do it two ways. You can contact the pool directly. You could turn up on site, and the pool staff there would be delighted to help you, or you could phone in and they can go through a list of questions with you. But the easiest way, if you're IT literate, would be to go onto our website, and there is an assessment checklist on there where it asks various details about you. That gets emailed through to our pool staff, and they will then contact you to book in an assessment session with you. An assessment costs a one-off fee of £10, and that's 30 to 45 minute meeting with an aqua physiotherapist who will go through. They'll talk about why you need to be there, and then they'll go through specific moves that you might want to do if you need to do that. But if and then once you've gone through that, then you're into our system generally, and you can contact the pool via our website by telephone. Or by turning up and just booking a slot in wherever there's a session available. And there's usually, although we've got some particular times through the week which are very popular, we tend to always have plenty of space for people to just book in once you're through that assessment process.
Amazing. And even with the sort of the administration fee, that obviously goes to a great cause. It goes to somewhere that is local and accessible for people of Dingwall. Is it just for Dingwall? Is it for sort of outer towns as well? Like, how far do you go for sort of people who want to book in?
We've got a clientele that covers the whole Highlands essentially.
Wow.
I'm aware that there's a similar pool in there, but I'd say everywhere west from that and north, we've got users coming from the west coast and from Sutherland and Caithness as well that come and use it when they can.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Love that.
So you mentioned there it is a charity. So how does funding come about? Perhaps people are listening who are thinking, could I support that? Could I help that out? What sort of things are you looking for?
Great. Well, I'd say that the majority of our pool income comes from the gate receipts that we get from users using it, but that if we just had that income, we would just make a loss every year. So we've also got a shop in Dingwall as well, which is a huge help to us.
I'm a massive fan of that shop, by the way.
It's a great shop. I'm so proud of everyone that's involved with that as well. And that gives us a lifeline as well. The cash that we get from that helps us get towards breaking even, and then we've got other fundraising. We will have other events. We're always welcome for people to have ideas and fundraising events, and we're grateful for people who host parties and do and then they'll take donations to our cause, and they'll do it for other people as well. We're really humbled any time that happens. We do a fun run every year as well, which is organised by the Ross County Athletics Association, and all the proceeds go to the Puffin Pool for that. We just have to turn up essentially, and the pool staff open up the premises, and they and the athletics club deal with the rest. And we've generally got a Just Giving page as well, and they're and we've got other fundraising ideas which are always covered on our website too. So I would always encourage people to just have a look through our website to see more about us in that respect.
Definitely. And I think when it comes down to cost as well, I think people don't understand, because obviously when you're in a pool, you've got all the hygiene stuff. So like chlorine is so expensive.
Yeah, just the energy required for heating it as well.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, and obviously, you've got your staff members as well that are needing a wage as well. So like all the proceeds are going to good, obviously going for good, but
Now, we should say that
Yeah.
website is puffinpool.co.uk. There's some great information about hydrotherapy in general, so you can find out more about that, and maybe it is for you. Or maybe you want to give up some time, because the shop is the volunteer-led there. We've got people can give up some time and do some work in the shop for you.
Yes,
What are
that's
some of the
right.
volunteering roles that could happen for people if they wanted to come and give up some time?
There would be two branches. There'd be one to volunteer at the shop, and we've got one employed person who manages the shop, and everyone else that's involved with it are volunteers, and we've got I'd say due to the good reputation we have, we've got quite a lot. We've got a good, healthy number of volunteers.
Good.
But it's always great to hear from other people who want to help as well. And the pool premises itself is staffed by Highland, but we've got a board of directors, which I'm part of as well, and that's all done on a volunteer basis, and we're always looking for volunteers to help us make decisions, and the strategic decisions and financial decisions and everything else that needs anyone who thinks that they would feel that they could contribute in any way, we'd be delighted to hear from them as well.
Amazing.
It's good because the thing is, similar to what we have here, when people hear, could you volunteer for hospital radio, could people volunteer for the Puffin Pool, they probably have a very narrow mind of, well, that means talking into a microphone or being in a pool helping someone. But there's so many, I don't want to say the boring tasks, but the really critical, the legal tasks, the administrative tasks are so important, and somebody giving up some time with some experience would be so beneficial, I'd imagine, to the Puffin Pool.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say our board is very diverse in terms of the skills that people bring. I said that I never had any direct involvement with the Puffin Pool before, so I've got no experience, no physio knowledge, and I've got no lifeguarding knowledge. Absolutely not. But I can offer some admin support as well, because I'm a solicitor and I run a business, so I can bring that to the table. And we've got a facilities manager and we've got a treasurer and a secretary, and we've got several other board members as well, who all bring their own bit to it, and but we're always looking for more people with any kind of skill set who they think that they could contribute something. We would love to hear from them.
That's really good. Amazing. Yeah.
So again, I'm just going to say it's puffinpool.co.uk is where you can get all the information regarding the services available if you want to use the facility, or if there is any other information that you want to find out about hydrotherapy and the pool itself. So, John, thank you so much for coming in to see us.
It's been a pleasure and an honour. Really.
No, the honour's
Thank
on
you for
us.
the
Thank
biscuits,
you.
by the way. If you've never gone to Dingwall, and you've never gone to Dee's, where have you gone?
Exactly. So we're going to enjoy a biscuit whilst the listeners enjoy David
Gray and Babylon. And that's Godly and Creme with Cry. God, I sound a bit like Sarah Cox there. That's quite funny. You can tell what I've been listening to recently. I've transitioned.
Have you?
From R1 to R2.
No.
I do R1 in the morning and then R2 in the afternoon on drive
You've
time.
finally reached that point in life where you've switched from Radio 1 to Radio 2.
Well,
or you're in
half a
you're in
day.
a transition, you're hybrid.
It's a half a day. I still like Greg in the morning. I like Scott, but I prefer Greg.
It's one of I'm sorry to say, I couldn't tell you who any of the presenters are on Radio 1 and Radio 2 anymore. Yeah.
I didn't know Sarah Cox was married to Brian Cox until the other week when Ben told me.
No.
Yeah.
No.
See?
No.
See, it's not just me that thinks that.
Is
Anyway, we are in our
Sarah
second hour
Cox
of the Saturday
married
drop-in.
No.
Are we confirming this?
Which Brian Cox, the actor or the physicist?
The physicist, the Dream.
No.
Yeah.
No. How did I not know that? That's amazing.
I think no one knows. But yeah, second hour of Saturday drop-in. Thank you very much for John for popping in. We have got some Beat Detective on the way, which will be fun. What else have we got? This or That. We've got This or That coming up as well, which is you're really interested in this.
Sorry, I need to. I'm refocusing.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Have another biscuit. You'll be fine.
Do you know what? So, obviously, we would never eat food in the studio because the consumption of food and drink in the studio is prohibited. Strictly
prohibited. Yeah.
Is it Dee's of Dingwall?
Dee's Bakery.
Dee's Bakery's had a good couple of mentions so far. So
shout out to Dee's.
Send more biscuits.
And pie.
And John, our guest, has very kindly brought this lovely shortbread, and it's got so much caramel on it.
Yeah.
I may have to go to the Highland table to go and get another coffee, to be honest, to enjoy this.
Yeah. Are you good? Should we play some Ronan Keenan so you can?
You play some Ronan Keating,
Yeah.
and I will finish this biscuit, and we'll come back and have a proper radio show. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I've
Let's
sort
do
of sorted that off. So if you want to message in, it's studio@hhr.scot. This is Ronan Keating with Fires.
Ronan Keating and Fires. We've got 2 issues to address here, folks. One, you don't know who Ronan Keating is.
I had to Google him for his face.
Incredible
Google him
scenes.
for his face.
Google
that
him
sounds
for
bad.
his face.
I'm not like ordering anything off Amazon for him, but you know,
You could probably buy a face mask of Ronan Keating, I should imagine, off of Amazon.
paper or rubber.
Ronan Keating, you were like, was he in Boys Life?
Because Boys Life is like the mix between Boyzone and Westlife, isn't it?
Are you implying that there's a McBusted-esque version of Westlife and
There is
Boyzone?
McMurray. When I
Right.
went to McMurray last year.
I can't believe Ronan Keating's in that. He's like the main superstar of Boyzone, which he was in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not believing a word you say.
Okay, that's fine.
Because you've set me up, absolutely done me up like a kipper here, okay? So, before the break, before that last song, you said that Shannon Marvel, said
Yeah.
Sarah Cox is married to Brian Cox. And no, absolutely not.
Well, that's what I was told.
So we're going by this. This has got us into trouble. But this is Callac Bookshelf all over again.
I know.
Shannon.
I'm getting rid of my Calyx bookshelf actually, just because of that situation.
Just in protest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've had a message into the studio.
Hi, Laura.
Wow. So who can only? So this is what happened in the past, where my wonderful wife Laura, who is almost like a member of the show.
Yeah.
She's like a silent member.
It's like having a producer. That
She
is
is
like
a producer,
the
right?
Producer Laura.
But here's the thing: producer Laura, a normal radio producer would make sure we don't make a mistake in advance. Laura is there to say when we've made a hideous mistake.
Yeah.
So on 2 counts, one, it just says that Ben, your partner, is winding you up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've established that Sarah Cox is not married to Brian Cox, and she's now quickly come in and said that Ronan Keating was not in Boys Life. Keith was in Boys Life. So there you go. No Ronan Keating in Boys Life.
So which one was Ronan Keating?
Which one was Ronan? Well, the guy singing the guy who just sang the song we just listened to.
It was a long time ago.
What? It was like a minute ago.
No,
we
I'm
played
not
it.
talking about the song. I'm just talking about when they were.
Ronan Keating did
low-key
Life as a
popular.
Roller Coaster.
Oh, right. Okay,
Ronan Keating, he was the main man from Boyzone. Oh, here we can upset people now. I'll call this out. Boyzone, yeah?
Yeah.
Ronan Keating was the main person in Boyzone. There, I said it. That's going to light some fires.
He's like the only one
I've
people
got some
know.
dots coming across the screen
Oh, no,
here,
here
on
we
the,
go.
on the text.
Are we
on the
going to
text
wait
system.
for the live response?
Yeah. Laura, producer Laura, is not happy that you didn't know who Ronan Keating was, basically. He was in Boyzone,
Yeah,
for
I
goodness
know,
sake.
but when was Boyzone like a thing? Early noughties,
Well, yeah,
mid
but
noughties.
five
How
years ago
old
max.
was I? Like,
Boyzone's still a thing, isn't it? They only just came out for the first time a few years ago, surely. Don't tell me it was the 90s. It wasn't the 90s, was it?
I don't think so. Because it was Louis Walsh. No, wait.
Yeah, it was, yeah. So
yeah.
there's a documentary out just now, actually. I think it's on one of the streaming sites, the sort of history of Boyzone, and they're all getting back together to sort of talk things over. And having watched some of the adverts, Louis Walsh is not coming out of it very nice, frankly.
Yeah,
he just
so I've heard.
absolutely
Yeah.
used them to bits. Some crying emoji coming into the studio because it was the mid-90s when Boyzone were kicking about.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And how old were you back then, Shannon?
What was the mid-90s, did you say?
Yeah.
I wasn't born in the mid-90s. I was in 98. I'm the same age as the studio. I'm actually older than the studio.
Well, we're all older than the studio. That's not a boast.
Yeah, but
apart from the Sunday night crew, obviously.
Yeah, of course, exactly. So
Producer Laura's first gig was seeing Boyzone in 1998, the year that you were born, Shannon Marvel. Why did I agree to do a show with someone so disgustingly young?
Because you like me, I like you. We get on well at presenting and doing shows and stuff. I don't know if this is a good example of that, but we do all right.
We do all right.
Shall I do some new music?
Oh, yes, please.
So Chaperone has brought out new music.
Okay.
It's country,
Ooh.
but it's good country.
I don't have a problem with country.
See, I'm not a big fan that everyone just seems to go, yeah, country is amazing because Beyonce did it.
No, well no.
That's
no,
not how
no,
it should be.
No.
But I mean, if Helen's listening, this is quite a good song.
Big if.
This is The Giver with Chapel Roan. And that's Bread, Everything I Own, and you're with Shannon and Tom on the Saturday drop-in. Whilst Tom is on the queue for the coffee, I think we should start playing a little bit of Beat Detective. So on social media just now, so it's Facebook at Highland Hospital Radio, as well as Instagram as well, we have critically hidden the last song that is generated by the computer on the system. So your last song is what hidden in these clues. So the song is 2 words. You'll be cutting your nose off by setting fire to these transport spans. And the artist is also 2 words. It's same as always. Nothing changes. So that's on Facebook and Instagram just now. So you can comment your answer or you can email us. It is studio@hhr.scot. So I'll quickly give you the clues again. So the song is 2 words. You'll be cutting your nose off by setting fire to these transport spans. Artist is 2 words. It is same as always. Nothing changes. I'll tell you what does change. The fact that Tom still hasn't in the studio. So we normally do the usual riff-raff of finding something interesting out about the show, about us maybe as well. But yeah, I appreciate him getting the coffee though, to be fair. So while we are waiting for Tom, we're going to be playing a little bit of Depeche Mode for you just now. So answer on commenting the Facebook and Instagram post for your Beat Detective, or you can give us an email. It is studio@hhr.scot. So here is a little bit of Depeche Mode. And that was Alex Warren with Ordinary. That's another cheeky new song.
I like it.
I
That
say a
was
cheeky
really
new
good.
song. That's currently the number 1.
Is that good? No way. Are we doing like proper current topical music?
I know.
God, this is hospital radio, Shannon.
Yeah, but people like that. He's on radio too. So
Do you know what? I did like that as well. That was good. Alex Warren, Ordinary.
That
Far
is good
from
to
it. I
hear.
enjoyed it. Yeah, good.
yeah, Beat Detective is on social media just now. So if you have your yeah, if you want to find the clues out and comment your answer below, you're more than welcome to, or email hhr.scot and we can give you a wee shout at the same time.
Absolutely,
Tell you
yeah.
if you're right or
Yeah.
wrong.
Because the thing is, we know you're there.
Yeah,
we know.
know.
We know that you're there. Don't be afraid to get in touch with us. Same. We have people listening on the podcast. We have people listening live right now. I can tell that, but you know, drop us a wee message. We don't bite.
We don't mind.
Yeah, we're
You
friendly.
can just tell us that we're doing a really bad job. We'd still be happy about it.
Negative contact would still counts as contact, doesn't it? It still drives the numbers up.
It does indeed. But whilst you are figuring out your Beat Detective, should we do a bit of this or that?
I would very much like to, yes. Because
Yeah.
I need redemption, Shannon. Because when you went here last week, Terry Henderson stood in.
Yes.
And he insisted that we did a this or that special, which was the 60s versus the 90s, the battle of the decades.
Which sounds pretty good.
Well, it is. So the idea was each of us, I know, sigh, each of us created 10 intros. I did him 10 intros from the 60s to try and challenge him, and he did 10 intros from the 90s to try and challenge me. The thing is, Terry Henderson knows every song from the 60s, I reckon.
I think
So
he knows every song ever.
Potentially. I didn't stand a chance. So he got full marks for the 10 that I made. I could have been a lot nastier, but that doesn't make for good radio. But he did not get that vibe. He decided, I'm going to show him something. And he picked a couple well, for a start, his first song was Disco 2000 by Pulp.
Okay.
But he picked some obscure dance remix where the song doesn't actually kick in for at least 2 minutes.
Oh, right, okay.
What chance
Which
did I
is
have?
just 90s remixes, to be fair.
Basically, yeah. So anyway, I am looking for redemption, Shannon. What are you going to hit me with now?
So, do you like instruments?
Yeah,
Do
all
you
types.
like fruit?
You know, less so than instruments, but yeah, sure.
Could you tell a difference between a fruit or an instrument if I told you the name of said fruit or instrument?
You know what? I'm going to say yes. I've got to believe in myself.
Yeah.
Yes, I am going to do this.
Okay.
Ace, 10 out of 10.
Are you ready?
Go for it.
What is a sistrum?
A sistrum.
Is it an instrument or a fruit?
A sistrum.
A sistrum. I can do spellings if needs be.
Go on then, let's have a spelling.
S-I-S-T-R-U-M.
So the fact that it says S-I-S has changed it for me. Had it been C-I-S, I'm thinking citrus, maybe, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Sistrum.
That's how words work, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going instrument.
It is an instrument. It is an ancient Egyptian percussion instrument consisting of a metal frame with jingles that produces a shimmering sound when shaken.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
it.
Very nice. What is a salak?
A salac.
A salac.
A salac.
A salac. Does that have a bit of onomatopoeia in it? Does it not?
A salac doesn't sound like a fruit. I'm going instrument, Shannon.
It is a fruit.
Ah.
It's also called the snake fruit. Salac has a reddish-brown scaly skin resembling snake scales. The flesh is sweet and tangy with a crunchy texture, and it's often eaten fresh or in salads.
I mean, am I finding that at the middle of Lidl or, in my Tesco fresh aisle?
No, but
Come on.
could you find the difference between a mussel or a dinosaur?
Yeah, fair point. Number 3, please.
Okay. What is a langsat?
I'll take a spelling.
Langsat.
It's langsat.
A langsat.
Well, that is when a Scottish person sits down for a long time, isn't it?
A langsat.
I'm away for a long. That's like when somebody new starts at your work. Hey, you! I ain't get the langsat. Oh, excuse me, I'm here for a langsat. Right, there's the chair. A langsat.
A langsat.
Fruit.
It is a fruit.
Yes.
It's a small oval fruit native to Southeast Asia.
A small opal fruit. It's a starburst now, isn't it? I want a cheer for
Oval
that.
fruit.
I want a cheer for that.
Okay, cool.
It's a tough room.
It has a translucent flesh that is sweet and sour, and it's similar to the duku fruit, but has more of a tangy flavour. Yeah.
Yep.
So number 3.
4.
What is a hardanger?
Hardanger.
Hardanger.
We've got to go instrument for that one.
It is an instrument. It's a Norwegian string instrument similar to the violin, but with sympathetic strings because,
How can you have a sympathetic string?
Aw.
I'm feeling really down just now. I'll go and get some sympathetic strings.
Exactly. What is a ondes marteno?
Ondes
Marteno.
That could be like a type of apple, for example.
It
an
could,
Ondes
yeah.
Marteno. So I'm going fruit.
It is an instrument. It's an early electronic instrument created in the 1920s. It's known for its eerie, wavering sounds, often used in classical and film music. Yeah, very interesting. What is a cherimoya? Cherimoya.
That sounds like an old auntie at a house party.
Sounds mothy, doesn't it?
It sounds like an old auntie's had too much sherry and she's cherimoya. Fruit.
It is a fruit. Well done. It's also known as the custard apple. This is green, heart-shaped fruit.
I was one out.
Yeah, and has a creamy texture with sweet, tangy flavour, often described as a mix of banana, pineapple, and strawberry. That sounds like a good smoothie, but it's in an apple form.
Okay,
Yeah.
like it.
What is a jabuticaba?
I will take the spelling.
Jabuticaba.
Jabuticaba.
A jabuticaba.
I'm going to say it's like a percussive instrument. I'm going to go instrument.
You're going to go instrument?
Yes.
It's actually a fruit.
No.
It's a unique Brazilian fruit that grows directly on the trunk of the tree. It resembles grapes and has a sweet tart flavour commonly used in jellies, wines and liqueurs.
Very nice.
If you were ever interested in what type of liqueur we were doing as
Absolutely,
well.
Yeah.
What is a cruth?
Cruth.
A cruth.
I'll take the spelling when you're ready.
Yeah,
please.
give me 2 seconds because the bed just randomly decided to.
That's
to
cool.
stop
This is
working.
all
It's fine.
good. This is
Yeah.
all good production.
How would you think you would spell it, Tom?
A cruth.
Yeah.
Like CRUTH?
It could be. It's CRWTH.
Sorry, say again.
CRWTH. A cruth.
Well, the spelling makes me think is it Welsh? So is it a Welsh instrument? Is it? You don't mean like a W, you mean UU.
I mean W.
Isn't a W?
The W.
Right, it must be.
Ooh.
I'm going Welsh, I'm going instrument.
You are absolutely correct. It's an ancient string instrument from Wales, similar to a violin, but it's more primitive design, typically played with a bow and often associated with medieval and Celtic music.
Folks, that's
Well
why you
done.
that's why you take the spelling.
What is a sapodilla?
A sapodilla.
A sapodilla.
Sapodilla. I'm going to Tesco's or I'm going to Asda's. And I'm going to the fruit and veg aisle and I'm looking for my sapodillas. I'm going fruit.
It is a fruit. It's a brown, rough-skinned fruit with a sweet, grainy texture inside, reminiscent of brown sugar or pear. It's commonly eaten fresh or used in desserts in tropical regions. So, your final one.
Okay.
Is it an instrument or is it a fruit? What is a nickel harper?
A nickel harper.
Nickel harper.
I'll have the spelling.
NYCKEL Harpa.
I mean,
Nickel harp.
I think you're having me on here. It's got the word harp in it. Yeah. So that's why you're making me. That's why you're giving me this one, because you want me to say instrument. I'm calling your bluff, Marvel. It's a fruit.
It's the wrong bluff. It's actually an instrument. It's a traditional Swedish keyed fiddle played with a bow, often associated with medieval and folk music. Was that what you were expecting for is it a fruit or instrument?
Yeah.
'Cause imagine just saying, like, is it a drum or is it a guava?
I suspect I would have done better if that was.
Yeah. So much research was put into that, I'll be honest.
Do you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed that edition of This or That. That was a good This or That. Thank you very much.
I enjoyed it too. So what's for next week's This or That? Have you... I'm not here, but I'll play along.
Shannon, the guest host, who isn't here next week. We do have another guest host coming in. Phil is coming in to join me next week, I
Very
believe.
nice.
So what I might do is I might say to Phil, do you want to have a go at this or that? And he can come up with one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
that's
sure
not
he's
me
already
passing
taken
the
notes
buck.
this week.
It's not me passing the buck, you understand. No, we've got a few This or That still locked away there. There are a few that can still be dragged out if needed. But
Very nice.
This or That returns next week. Shannon doesn't, because she only does,
which is... I'm back, like...
Well, I was actually thinking...
Hopefully a bit more permanent next.
Will we tell the people why you're not here next week, or do you not want to talk about it?
We can talk about it because it's not just me.
Well, we go for a song, and then when
come
we
back.
come back, we'll talk about why Shannon isn't bothering to turn up
That
again
sounds
next
about...
week.
Oh, we've got Holding Out for a Hero.
I'm loving it. I'm very
Nice.
pleased.
And that's Bonnie Tyler, Holding Out for a Hero. It's your Saturday drop-in with Shannon and Tom.
Hello.
Hello.
So Shannon, you're not here next week. Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be in Suffolk/Leicester.
Was it Hinkley? That you're going to
We're
eventually?
Hinkley on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Never been to Hinkley.
No,
I can do a
I've
review.
never heard of Hinkley.
No. Hinkley who?
But why are you going to Hinkley?
Why am I going to Hinkley? Because there's something going on called the Hospital Broadcasting Association Awards.
Well, there's a award ceremony coming up. And
something-
might you be nominated for one of the most prestigious awards going?
Possibly, yeah. I just did the awkward glasses lift at the same time. No, I've been nominated for Best Female Presenter, which is lovely. But you also have the whole question of because of where your name is positioned in the nominations or where you sit.
Does that give away anything?
Does it? Second from bottom.
Well, you've won awards before, and you.
I was in the middle though.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm not going out to going in and expecting to win. That's my first thing. I love the fact that I love the fact I've been nominated. It'll be nice because we're going to be out with Karen, Ben, Morna, and Ali as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a really nice time for us to hang out, as well as meet other people, other young people that are going to be in the hospital radio as well. Because I'm always looking for the
young crowd.
The young crowd, see what they're doing these days.
The young crowd are like the 50-year-olds at Hospital Broadcasting Awards.
Yeah, exactly. And even the judging panel was a good spread this year.
Yeah, it generally tends to be. Yeah, So it's interesting because they get some radio professionals and executives. They get some NHS staff as well to do the hospital.
Yeah, so they're doing
awards, which is really,
head
really
of
nice.
mental health and well-being is in the judging panel. Lots of people from NHS England. Yeah, it's just really interesting. But yeah, obviously we'll keep you guys up to date on what happens.
What I was thinking is, could we perhaps try and arrange for a live link-up during the day at some stage?
Could do.
We could try and do something.
Yeah.
Because we can do that. What I was thinking is, Ali, he's on a mission to go and speak to our good friends at Broadcast Radio.
Thanks, Broadcast Radio, for everything you do.
Everything.
Everything.
Who are the people behind the software here.
Yeah.
So if we can just borrow one of their computers and use the software there, just do a live link up during the day, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. That'd be really nice, actually. But
you're also going down to Suffolk as well, you said.
It's my mum's 60th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she's...
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. She wasn't able to celebrate her 50th to the way that we would have wanted, just because situations happen.
Yeah.
We had a baby.
Things happen.
All that stuff. So, yeah, I wanted to make sure that this year is a nice one. So we're going out and getting our hair cut at the old hairdressers I used to go to. The cool up, it's hello, we're talking heads. It's hi, do you remember me, Fiona?
Happy birthday for next week for Kerry.
Yeah. This is when we need a star listener, ta-da.
Well, she is the star listener, to be honest, I find.
Well,
Now, we should mention very, very quickly
Mm-hmm.
that tomorrow, because we're doing the show on Saturday, it is. I'm facing the wrong way.
13:46.
It's the 29th of March.
It is the 29th
Tomorrow
of March.
is Mothering Sunday. A
Yes.
celebration of mums, the grannies, the aunties, the stepmums as well. Big
Stepmums.
shout out to the stepmums. And it's important that we send stuff. Obviously, I would never think to not send my stepmother something, or my mother-in-law.
Uh-huh.
Fortunately, I'm very forgetful, but Laura isn't. So I know that there's stuff on the way to them. In fact, it arrives today because Laura, who is my wife, has sent it today because it's cheaper.
First class is still one
Yeah, but I
stamp.
mean, you send flowers on Mother's Day, it's expensive.
Oh,
but if you
flowers,
send it
right,
on,
okay, yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
Saturday before, I take it you've already sent your card and stuff, yeah?
Happy Mother's Day to my mum and my stepmum as well,
Mhm.
who is a part of the family now. But it's going to sound really awkward. They're both Mrs. K. Marvel.
Okay.
So I addressed the cards because they're sitting on my desk because I was like, I haven't posted them. I forgot which one was which. So I had to reopen them to check them and then be like, okay, I know which one's which now. So yeah,
Awkward.
it's quite awkward. But I love them both equally.
Yes, well, hello to my mother-in-law, Linda.
Yeah.
And hello to my stepmum, Yvonne. And, of course, hello to Laura, my wife, who is a fabulous mum to Jess and Henry.
Exactly. Do you know what? I've never had an Auntie's Day card.
Is this a complaint that
It's-
you're putting out?
I don't think it's a complaint. I did text my niece being like, did you get a nanny's card? But I forgot to put the D at the end of the text. And she was like, what's a car? I'm like, card.
Card.
Yeah. It's all right. Let it be. Yeah, should we go into a break? And then
Let's do it.
afterwards we can reveal
We've got Beat Detective,
Beat Detective. Yeah, let's go. A different beats, Boyzone there, and we haven't got much left. We've got 5 minutes left.
Just 5 minutes. So in a few minutes' time, we will reveal the answer to this week's Beat Detective. Coming up at the top of the hour, for those who are listening live, you'll be able to enjoy the Highland Open Mic. Ross Payton brings you a wee collection of locally written drama interviews and a wee play as part of it as well. It's very good.
It is really good.
Other things to look out for: your live shows tonight, 7 o'clock tonight. Mike Goodbrand's here with the Rock and Roll Hour. Then it's live at 8. It'll be George McKenzie who will be playing the songs that you want to hear, and you can get in touch now by emailing requests at hhr.scott. And then for all your new album releases, David Robertson will be here at 9 o'clock. David, who has got his finger on the pulse, he replied to an email that I sent to him.
No way.
And the email that I sent to him was in December 2022, and he just replied to it this week. It was like somebody's left Fader 3 down in the studio, and he replied saying, "Sorry about that, Tom. It must have been me." I was like, "Yeah, it was December 22, mate. But thanks for getting back in touch."
Do you know what? The communication here has been incredible.
Should we do the answer to?
To beat the detectives.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
So this was a backup. If you stay tuned to the podcast, we'll discuss what the song was going to be, and we'll start a new feature of see if you can come up with better. The beat. Got my bits of paper all muddled up. Your beat detective. The question or the clues. Your artist. It was a 2-word artist. Same as always. Nothing changes. And your song was also 2 words. You'll be cutting your nose off by setting fire to these transport spans.
See, I knew the song before seeing Beat Detective.
Okay.
But Beat Detective has confused me.
All right, tell me more.
What's about the cutting the nose off? Because that's got nothing to do with.
Well, if you were, let's say you were quitting your job, yeah, it's
Yeah.
always a good idea to leave in good terms.
Of
yeah?
course, yeah.
So that if anything all goes wrong, you could potentially go back to that job. So the whole cutting your nose off to spite your face, or if you were to burn your bridges.
Yeah.
That's the phrase there, you
Okay,
see. So
yeah.
the song is Burning Bridges. Your artist, same as always, nothing changes. What could that potentially be, Shannon?
Nothing changes, like the 4 chords that they only know.
Oh, incredible scenes.
Yeah. Was it Status Quo? by
It
any
was
chance?
indeed Status Quo. So well done if you got this week's Beat Detective. Status Quo and Burning Bridges is going to be playing us out. Thank you for joining us on this week's live show. Shannon won't be here next week, but I still will be because I'm committed.
I'm committed too. I'm just busy. I'm sorry. Right, anyway, it's hhr.scot/catch-up if you want to listen back, or skip the songs and keep the chat on the podcast.
Absolutely.
See you next week.
Bye. Finally.
Well done.
Now we're on to the podcast extra.
Yeah.
Are we talking about showers anymore?
Showers. Oh, God, yeah. I forgot.
So I'll be honest, I only have one shower routine. I think that's thorough
Are you
enough.
a 1 in 3 kind of shower guy? Your shower gel can also be your shampoo, conditioner,
No, I'm quite
and car cleaner?
No, I'm quite specific. So I it's shower gel on a flannel.
Okay, cool.
The sort of scoury ones.
Yeah.
So I'm exfoliating technically with that.
Like a brain.
And I am in shower, wet, shower up. Then I turn the water off to lather, because I don't want if I lather whilst the water's running, that's going to wash away most of the
Do you not just
goodness.
step out of the way?
Yeah, it's a small shower. It's not.
Okay.
We're not all blessed with a massive shower.
I don't know.
Then it's water back on. Then it's rinse. But I mean, it's a thorough cleaning. I feel. I don't think I'm missing anything.
Bad? Yeah.
I even take the shower handle out to make sure I'm getting a rinse in all the suitable locations. The overhangs, if you will.
Okay.
So I think I'm. I
felt like maybe an everything shower is a bit TMI for hospital radio.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's all right. You got to do it. You feel like a different person when you do it.
I didn't get one everything shower. I thought that was like something altogether different.
No. So it's like before the shower.
Right.
Face mask, hair mask. Right. Let it sit whilst everything's going on in the shower, as in the water's being heated up.
Mm-hmm.
In the shower, wash it all off.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Shampoo,
Mm-hmm.
but only like half of what you normally do as a dosage of shampoo. Wash it off.
Mm-hmm.
Conditioner, leave it on.
Mm-hmm.
Lather said self.
Mm-hmm.
Shave if needs be as well, depending on where you need to shave. It's totally up to you. You don't have to shave. Wash that all off. Give yourself an exfoliating scrub on the face. What else was there? Oh yeah, and then go back to the other half of dosage of shampoo and shampoo your hair for the second time round, and then it's great.
See, I can't shave in the shower, because obviously for me shaving is facial shaving, or I'll shave my head. I can just about do my head.
Okay.
But because I need to see what I'm doing, if I'm like
Need the
doing
mirror.
like the fine points.
Yeah.
And I need my glasses on so I can see. So it's so such a problem cutting your own hair, because I just got my hair. I've got my clippers, so I just do my own hair. And
Ben won't let anyone cut his hair instead of his mum. And his mum's sick and tired of
Honestly,
it.
that list of things against keeping Ben on, honestly, it's just massive.
One of the reasons is like
He can
won't
only
let
let
me-
his mum cut his hair.
it's a whole thing. You have to ask him when you see him. He's got a specific, but the barber that used to cut his hair retired.
Is Ben Sheldon Cooper? There's my question put out there.
Instead of Star Trek, if it is about cars, then yeah.
So this week we had our beat detective, as we always do. However, we had to cheat. We broke the rules, because usually, up until now, we've always just used whatever the computer has chosen as the last song, and we book something about it. So this week I had to change it, because I could not think of a way of writing a cryptic clue. So I'd like to open up to the podcast listeners.
Okay.
So from beat detective, we're going to beat attemptive.
Beat attentive.
Beat attemptive.
Do.
Because the song that we should have played today was a Shania Twain song.
Yes.
I think actually, we'll go into the system and just double check what the Shania Twain song, because I even changed the song to one that was more popular. I was cheating all the way through. Was it Party for Two? It was Party for Two by Shania Twain. Now, I've never heard of Party for Two, so I changed it to That Don't Impress Me Much.
That don't impress me much.
So I had a clue for That Don't Impress Me Much, but then I was like, how on earth do you write a cryptic clue for Shania Twain? Yeah. Now I came up with a couple of ideas, and then struggled with that. So, having I did come up with something, but then unfortunately, a horrendous natural event has occurred.
Yes.
In the world.
Yeah.
And I was using the name of that country, so I thought, well, we need to scrap that. So it was a quick decision was made. So, but I'm going to open up to the world. We had Shania Twain with Party for Two. So in a beat attemptive for podcast listeners, if you want to get in touch, it's socials@hhr.scot. If you can come up with a cryptic clue to point to Shania Twain and Party for Two,
Yeah.
go for it.
We could give out a pen.
A pen.
A
If
Highland
it's really
Hos-
good,
if it's
if
really
it's really
good,
we'll give you out a badge.
we'll give you. Oh.
I'll give out a badge for it.
Okay. And if we like it, a pen.
A pen.
We're definitely Radio 2 now, aren't we? Giving
Yeah.
out pens
Giving it
and mugs
pens,
and
mugs
what
and
we
badges.
doing.
It'll be a Roberts Digital Radio next.
Yeah.
HHR.Scott. And have a wee search for our show page. And then also email us socials at hhr.scott.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. COVID.
Yeah.
Bring back the C word. 5 years on, 23rd of March was the official announcement. Obviously, changes were made before that.
But it was weird because I remember at work, I worked right up until I got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in close confinement. I mean, so my real job is working on the railway. So we were in a train cab, and I remember that the 3 people I was working with, so they were people I was training on something. And yeah, we were all sort of sitting around in the cab of this train. And you know, a train cab's only, you know, you can pretty much touch both sides of the walls. And we were sort of like, this just feels weird now, doesn't it? Should we all be here?
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, there was some people were saying, no, we shouldn't be working in close quarters. Face masks hadn't really come in or anything then. And that was, I worked right up until the Friday. And in fact, I was supposed to be going through to Aberdeen to work away. And I was like, I'm just not going. This is quick. We all knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
But we waited. It was like the Monday night, wasn't it, when Prime Minister came on the telly?
Yeah.
And then for me, it was horrendous because I wasn't allowed to go to work. I was basically told, stay off, stay in your house. Which was annoying for me because I'm quite an operational sort of person. I want to get involved, I want to help out, and being locked away in the house is not me.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt really bad that there was loads of people still having to go to work in the railway, and I wasn't allowed to go and do it. And I felt that was quite a difficult one mentally to get over.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there was a lot of people suffering a lot more, and it's about that balance of me being stuck in the house was very unpleasant.
But people had it worse.
There was so much worse things going on.
Yeah.
What about yourself? What were you? Where were you?
I was at.
What were you working as?
I was at the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
and in the spa unit. So I was told a week before lockdown there was no further shifts in the spa because what happened was it was in January when coronavirus was a thing.
We were first talking about it. Yeah.
And obviously because of we were in a spa, we had hot tubs and stuff. That were because of the type of temperature you're likely to spread diseases quicker and stuff like that. We were given sort of regular cleaning schedules, but because I was water testing and chlorine testing and stuff like that, in my head I was like, that's fine because it'll just work off. I honestly didn't stop walking, like cleaning every single handlebar, every door handle. Like obviously you're meant to anyway, but like because it was on a half-hourly rotation, whilst you're testing the pool, testing the hot tub, cleaning the hot tub, you know, dealing with customers, dealing with spa guests, and then cleaning the changing rooms and making sure you've got towels and robes and all that stuff. So that was interesting. And you know, I used to it was a 6 a.m. start until about 2, and then they changed the rota, so it was 2 hours shifts, but that means there were more people in the spa working. So I'm just like, so there's more staff working in one day. We never actually cross over. We have like a handover job, stuff like that. But there was more people working, which I didn't really understand. And then my boss called me pedantic because I was cleaning too much. And I'm just like, well, the age demographic of our custom members and our, spa guests and stuff like that, they could die from this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I want to go home and not feel poorly afterwards, so I would rather clean. And then I think it was the next day after I had that awkward conversation, the manager was going round and all the spa guests were leaving. I'm just like, I've literally just put them in. What's going on? It's like, we have to close down. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, where's the end of my shift? So I don't care. But I went back to work soon after. So I stayed on furlough at the hotel, but I was offered a job at the golf range. So I was kind of looking after that because it has the big fancy system where it tracks your ball and stuff like that. It's a really cool system and I really enjoyed it. I think, honestly, golf was the wrong sport to bring back. I never want to work in golf again. And I used to play golf as a kid.
Yeah, you were,
I was pretty good.
The top, yeah.
I was pretty good, just the amount of just people breaking the rules because they were like, well, we're outside, it's fine. And it's like, we still have to follow hospitality rules. There's
I
still
totally
the
get it,
whole like.
yeah.
I was even like thinking the other day when I was thinking about probably bringing this up for like this, 6 people from 2 households, and I was like, ooh, that felt weird, and that never happened. Let's be real. And I remember actually it was after, so we were open for May, and then we locked down after Christmas and New Year. It was after Christmas, sorry.
Yep, that's right.
I was still working because golf was still allowed to be, used, and you're allowed to use that as your exercise. 4 men that I damn well knew weren't in the same household came in, and I'm like, guys, it's 2 people, 2 households. They called the owner and were like, we're doing it. And the owner called me up and was like, you need to like let them in. They're paying customers. And I'm just like, I wept because all I wanted to do was go home and see my mum. She has, what does she have? Stage 2 emphysema, so she's COPD, and she looks after my niece and my nephew and stuff like that. And I'm, that's consistently going through my head, like, what if mum dies? Do I look after the kids? What happens to dad and stuff like that? Because it was really hard being so far away, and it was fine because like between those 2 lockdowns, I did get to go down and see everyone, but you see people break the rules, and it's just like, come on.
The annoying thing was people, particularly in hospitality, and remember like funeral home workers, so they were left to police it. They were quite rightly saying to people, I'm sorry that your loved ones died, but you can only be allowed, there's only like 12 people allowed. I can't remember what the exact numbers were. And it was
we can live stream and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it was those people were left to police it and tell people that, and why was it that person's job to deal with it? But
yeah,
no, it was
But
what a bizarre time.
Yeah.
Looking back is weird.
Yeah.
It's also in the run up to it happening. Jess and I, we went on a trip down to London in February.
Oh wow!
Literally just a couple of weeks before,
Yeah.
and at the time it wasn't really triggering that this is actually quite serious. We had a great time down in London. That was me and Jess had a wee weekend away, and then came back and like, that's all. It's all weird.
Yeah. How did Hospital Radio shut down?
Well, again, I'm trying to remember. So I was still quite new here at the Hospital Radio. So I'd only started in November 2019, and I'd only just started doing my own show. So I was still on Saturdays, I want to say. I can't remember when I switched to Sunday. But it was quite simply that the committee then, we just had to shut the place down, really. Being within a hospital as well, that adds an extra complexity to it that, we just couldn't come in at all. So we still had some degree of being able to control the system remotely, but we couldn't really do programmes. I recorded a show from home and we put that out. So there was a few people recording stuff from home. I remember Terry was doing quizzes from home. So
I remember the Facebook Lives,
he was doing Facebook Live quizzes.
And he'd be like, and the answer is...
So, it was... But the thing is, COVID was such it was so damaging for hospital radio in that we lost the ward visitors, that access to patients. And at the time, the hospital radio wasn't broadcasting online. So in essence, who was actually listening? Yeah. If there was no ward visitors to go up and let people know that we were here. But that was, if we all look for positives out of COVID, the big positive was it pointed out to us that we needed to do more to reach out beyond Rigmore, and it was probably what pushed us towards going online. And we did that a couple of years later. But the funny thing was, I did you have COVID at all? Have you ever?
I had it twice.
So I've had it about 4 times now.
Wow.
And I seem to be one of these, for some people it's probably, some people don't know they've got it. They're asymptomatic. Some people would describe it as just a bad cold. Obviously see the far extreme.
You get it pretty bad.
When I get it, I'm somewhere in the middle of that where the first time I had it, I was off work for 2 months, and the first month of that I was just in bed and I couldn't get out of bed. And then having gone back to work, I wasn't allowed to work on my own. I was a month at work before I was past fit to go back to my normal duties. But the first time I got it was Christmas Day. It was Christmas Day.
I remember you saying...
Was it 2021? I'm trying to think. So I managed to go 2 years without it.
Yeah.
Because it was the first year that Jess and I did the Christmas Day show.
It was, yeah. Because I remember you messaging us and being like...
Yeah. So I had come back from working away in Aberdeen. It was Jess's idea. She wanted to do the Christmas Day show, which is fantastic that she came up with that idea, and she still, enjoys doing it. We came in, we did the show. I went back home. Laura had cooked the Christmas lunch. And it was just sitting down and started to go, got a bit of sore head coming on. Because I think I had a gin and tonic sitting with my Christmas lunch, and I didn't finish it. I was like, nah, I'm just not feeling great.
Something's not right if you don't
Something's
finish your
not
drink.
right. If I'm not finishing my gin and tonic, yeah.
Yeah.
And I went up to bed for a wee bit, and Laura came upstairs and says, you better do a test. So did. It came back positive. I took 2 tests actually, and they were, like the line. It was like it wasn't a faint line. It was
Bold.
red.
Yeah.
And at the time, that was when it was still a major event. Yeah, so you had to go into the app and say I've tested positive.
You had to go up to the UHI and then get officially
and
tested.
That was. Do you know what?
That was so strange
that
doing
was the
that.
weirdest thing about the whole of COVID. If you watch some sort of dystopian drama movie or like TV series, and you turned up at the UHI and you were not allowed in the car, you had to crack the window just a little bit so they could pass stuff into you. Everybody's in like the full white suits, and you're. Oh, that was really.
It's a bit like, is it 28 Days Later?
It felt like that. And when you've got the kids in the car as well, Henry would have been, he would have been 4, 3.
Yeah.
3, 4. Jess was 8. So for them, how intimidating is that? And try to do a COVID test on Jess. Oh my goodness.
I can imagine that wouldn't have been amazing.
It did not go down well at all.
My mum literally just like headlocked the kids and was like, "You're taking one."
Yeah. So we did that, but then because I tested positive. So that was Boxing Day. We went Christmas Day. I took the home test. Went on Boxing Day to the UHI, and took the official test. I had to then go and get checked. Then we had to phone up public. You told Public Health Scotland online, I'm sure, to say where you were. And because I said I was in the hospital, that kicked off.
Yeah.
So I had Public Health Scotland on the phone whilst I'm ill, because I really wasn't well.
Yeah.
And so you were in the radio studio. So you went on the wards? No, but was in there. And how many other people? And in essence, the deal was we shut the place down. So that was the studio closed effectively for the next week or so until somebody could come in and clean the place down. Because the fact they said, oh, you share microphones or you share headphones, and it was just it's weird. It's weird. Also, it calmed down a wee bit after that maybe, and the rules changed, but it's still there. Because again, I've tested a few times positive since, and whenever it gets me, I'm off for. That's me knocked out for a good few weeks. But yeah, hospital radio. The positives that have come from it are, look where we are now. We're online. Our listenership's increased. We've been able to fund this new studio.
We've been able to help other charities through
absolutely.
shows.
Charities coming in. So yeah, there's a horrendous time, and it's still there. It's not gone away. It's still there. But it's so there is a positive that's coming.
Thanks for having me on for another week. I'll see you.
Yeah, it was
I'll
nice.
see you in 2 weeks' time.
You're one of my favourite guest hosts. Thank you for downloading this edition, and we'll see you next time.